understand the features of government companies. So if comes for 5 marks, you have to write 5 features. I am explaining 6, you can write 5. Incorporation first, separate legal entity second, third ownership, fourth management, own staff fifth, sixth accountability. So incorporation. Incorporation is a word related to its formation. So government company, it is registered or incorporated under the Companies Act 2013. If they have mentioned somewhere in book Companies Act 1956, then that act has been changed and the new name is Companies Act 2013. Now second, separate legal entity. A body corporate is independent from the government. That is, government is a separate legal entity and government company is a separate legal entity. It can acquire property, that is buy property in its own name, make contracts in its own name, sue and be sued. That is, sue, that is file a case against and somebody else filing a case on you, that is be sued in its own name. That is, a government company can file a suit against someone and somebody else can also file a case against government company, that is sue and be sued in its own name. Third point, ownership. It is wholly or partly owned by the government. See, government in these companies holds at least 51% of the total paid up share capital. If full 100%, then it is wholly owned by the government. So if here we see 51%, so 49% somebody else is holding. So then it is a mixed type of thing, that ownership, it is wholly or partly owned by the government. If full 100% owned by the government, then wholly owned by the government. If partly owned, the government holds at least 51% of the total paid up share capital. 49% may be held by some private other entities. Fourth, management. It is managed by board of directors nominated by the government and other shareholders. So who is managing it? Board of directors. Nominated by whom? By the government and other shareholders. Fifth, own staff. Its employees are not government servants. Now the point to remember is they might be appointed by the government, okay, but they are not governed by civil government, that is civil service rules. Its employees are not government servants. Their appointment and service conditions are decided by the government. Their appointment and service conditions are decided by the government, but they are not governed by civil servant rules. So they are not employees of the government. They are not governed by civil service rules, although their service conditions might be decided by the government. Accountability. It is accountable to ministry or department concerned. So it is accountable whom? To the ministry. Keyword is ministry or department concerned. Its annual report, that is what have been your income, what have been your expense, what have been your profit, your assets, liabilities, your balance sheet, that is your annual report. So its annual report is placed before the parliament or the state legislature, as the case may be. So its annual report, where has it to be placed? Before the parliament or the state legislature, as the case may be.